Hey everybody, how you doing? Might have been a little loud. Goodness sakes, let's fade that music out just a smidge. There we go. I hope you guys can hear me okay. I want to go ahead. Hey, thank you, by the way, very much for being here. Now, Retro Gaming Star 25, but Rave Warrior Alpha. I want to go ahead and give a heads up to everybody that I am operating very differently than I normally would operate when it comes to games and when it comes to streaming. So really quickly, 1 second, I'm going to make an adjustment. There we go. So I want to make a quick apology. I have been, excuse me, I have been absent from the streaming world for just a little bit, and it's not been a long, super long time. But as it stands, I am currently, and have been currently dealing with problems specifically concerning my stream setup. So normally I use Streamlabs OBS, also known as Slobs SL OBS, and about a week ago, maybe a little over a week now, it's been probably a week and a half ago, my setup just stopped working. Now, the hardware's fine. I did all the checks I could on the hardware. Everything's good, hardware-wise. But when we go into the software no longer launches, and we've tried uninstalling and reinstalling and installing certain packets, dropping packets. I've been working back and forth for about a week and a half at least with the developers of Streamlabs OBS to try and help it, for them to try and help me get my setup back and up and running. So what you're seeing right now is my plan B, and my plan B, I want to be very clear, my plan B is built strictly as a plan B, but if I can't get it resolved with Streamlabs OBS, this may be my A plan. This may become the new way that I stream, and that's why this stream is happening. That's why I'm not continuing KOTOR today, because if I have a whole bunch of issues, I don't want that to diminish the storytelling experience that you would have with a KOTOR playthrough, and I don't want that to diminish, you know, the kind of experience that you have on the stream, especially with a series where you already have some associations and some kind of precursor or cursory knowledge. So it's me just picking a random sequence, and I'll explain why, or random series of games, and that's why. AR Video Games. Hey, how you doing, AR? I really appreciate you for stopping by. I know this is I'm giving an explanation. I've started out by messing up. But thank you so much for coming in. Thank you so very much. I will let you know flat out, I'm flying blind, so I don't know how many people are in there. If you're chatting, I know you're there. If you're not chatting, I don't know you're there. It doesn't mean I appreciate you any less. It just means I don't know, and so I probably won't be able to call your name or say thank you to lurkers as directly as normally I would. But nonetheless, if you are lurking, if you have the stream on in the background, a tremendous thank you. But yeah, so I'm actually not using Streamlabs right now. I'm not using any of that's why my intro, you see, is this weird starting soon thing, which I really like, but it's why it's not my original Pixel Japan, and hopefully everything is sounding and looking pretty clear. I'm just using regular old OBS, so that's why I'm doing this. Now, you might be asking why I chose X-Men as the test stream, and there's a reason for that. It's twofold, in fact. Firstly, is that I like X-Men. I haven't gotten to play comic book games and some time, and I like X-Men's my favorite in terms of comic books, so, you know, why not? But the second thing, and the most important reason, is X-Men / Marvel Comics, but specifically games featuring the X-Men or being X-Men, they almost have a title on every console. And that allows me to switch consoles up and see how different consoles are going to look in this setup. So I'll be playing like Super Nintendo here in just a second, and then I'll probably, after a little bit, I'll probably migrate over to like a GameCube, see how that looks, and then I'll probably migrate to like Xbox, see how that looks. You know, give it 2 or 3 consoles a test, and if those are working, then I'll be pretty comfortable with the way that this works. So, like I said, want to give an apology. I know I don't have all the normal accoutrement. I'm still working on it. I do have, I don't have a Stream Deck, but I did make one out of an old MIDI controller. So, hopefully that will work, and we'll have these nice little stinger transitions and all that kind of good stuff that you normally would see. So hopefully the quality is not diminished too substantially. Now, I do guess I want to say, really quickly, if you do have, and I'm going to turn this microphone real quick. You're going to hear a little noise. I'm sorry. If you are having trouble hearing me, or I'm sorry, I'm moving a microphone, so you're probably hearing a bunch of noise here. Sorry about that. There we go. If you're having trouble hearing me, if I'm not coming through clear, if the video's not coming through clear, if the audio from the game isn't coming through clear, please let me know, and I'll make those tweaks as I can. But this is ultimately just a big test stream. There we go. So, sorry, I'm messing with the microphone just a bit. I didn't have everything in position. So we're going to test. We're going to make sure, I believe, number 3 on this MIDI controller should turn me over. Have you played any of the Spider-Man games? Yes, I have played. I don't know about. It's difficult to say I've played all of them, but I have played. I've certainly played a good amount of them. I started playing Spider-Man for the Atari, which is pretty abysmal in my opinion, and then I went to playing son of a gun. Let me go and put some game audio so you guys can hear it. And I'll fade that out. You'll get a duplicate in a minute. But yeah, yes, I have played the Spider-Man games. I've played the one for the Atari. I have a Sega Genesis one. I have a couple for the NES. Maximum Carnage, I think, is one. They had I have one for the Sega that is Arcade's Revenge. It was Spider-Man and the X-Men together. Not as good as the X-Men game I'm gonna play here, but it's not a bad Spider-Man game. Of course, Spider-Man 1 and 2 as well. Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. I have 3 on the 360. The new Spider-Man game, Edge of Time, Friend or Foe. I did a big deal. I bought out a whole bunch of Spider-Man games in the 2010s. 1 second. We're going to try and move over and see if this does a transition. I hope it does. So it did do a transition. Had a little bit of a stutter there, but you guys hopefully can see. And hopefully everything looks nice. You should be seeing a profile, and you should be hopefully hearing some noise. You guys hearing some what sounds like a really bit-crushed typewriter? I'm hoping that's the case. If that is the case, all right. One more time, I'll move this microphone. There we go. So yeah, I'm hoping you guys can see and hear me really quick. Please let me know if you can, if everything sounds good. How have you been, man? I've been okay. I've been doing really well. Just having tech trouble, really. Just trying to get up and trying to get Streamlabs running to stream and actually working with their team. Their team is super nice. It's just been slow going. So this is literally just me testing it sounds good. Good. Okay, this is me testing. This is original OBS. Really quickly, let me switch back over to the starting soon. Okay, I need to make a quick change. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Had to switch my controller. All right, let's switch back over. There we go. So now, that's the idea. I'm just going to be trying to play through some of these games and talk with you guys. Yeah, I've been doing all right. I appreciate you for asking. I've just been having some tech trouble, honestly, and it's not been awful. It's just been frustrating to feel like you're so close to getting the problem solved, and you're not getting it solved. And like I said, the people that I've been working with have been remarkably nice. They've been great. It's just we just haven't figured it out yet. So that kind of a thing. And that also means that I'm not using VST plugins, so if you guys hear, hopefully you don't hear a lot of noise in the background, but hopefully my voice is coming through nice and clear. But we'll go into, this is a really weird one, by the way, for anybody who hasn't played this game before. This game is, I remember this game from the 90s, and I remember specifically, I should say, I have a half-brother, and my half-brother was playing this. And I didn't really get to play it a ton, and this was in the 90s, but he was playing it, and I didn't, I was visiting, and I didn't know what the difference was, so I picked it up. I picked it up a little later, just because I thought it was cool. It's Capcom. It is actually really good. But it has two versions here, mission mode and training mode. And legitimately, the only difference between mission mode and training mode, there are only two differences. Mission mode is the actual story. I'm sorry, AR, I didn't read that right. Capcom's old Marvel games are always a blast. Yes, absolutely. Even was it War of the Gems? The Infinity. Basically, we saw the Infinity War movie just a year or two ago, but then they had the game, and the game was like 20 years prior to that, and it's amazing. It's still so good. Yeah, I completely agree. This one's probably my favorite. Like I said, I like the X-Men. The Avengers are great, but I like the X-Men quite a bit. But training mode and mission mode actually takes you through a story. It takes you through a story path, whereas training mode does not. It only allows you to play the first 5 stages. Number 2 is all of the super moves for all of your superpowers are mapped in the mission mode to a fighting move. So it's like quarter circle forward, Y, quarter circle backwards, back forward Y, back forward X to do your moves. It's actually a fight. It kind of mixes this platformer element. The Thumb Brothers, cooking and lurking. Hey Thumb, I really appreciate you for dropping in. I explained to everybody, and I'll do it just completely short, and I'll kind of explain it. I'm using OBS. My Streamlabs is completely down, so I'm sorry for the absence, and if things are a little wonky this time, that's why. I'm using regular old OBS. So, okay. Yeah, so in training mode, it's all mapped to a single button. I think it's Y. It might be X. We're just going to go to mission mode. I'm not particularly great at this, but we'll see. Of course, this is also one of the big things about this for anybody who is, nobody here may be, and that's okay. For anybody who is an avid reader of the comics, this is still back in, you got to think, this is back in the 90s where they're still, we didn't even know about Onslaught or who Onslaught was at this. This is kind of this Bronze Age, Silver Age. This was the golden age of the Jim Lee art style for X-Men. And have you been watching any of E3? Not really watching E3. I've kind of just gotten snippets here and there. I've been watching more or less the reviews of E3. Like I watched some of Square Enix's stuff when they did. I know Capcom was, I think, today. And then I saw some of the snippets of like the Bethesda Microsoft thing. Has anything just... I heard the Bethesda Microsoft one was really impressive. I don't know about Capcom's, but I'm assuming it's impressive. I would like to get back into some old comics, X-Men, Spider-Man, Blade, and Batman specifically. Heck yeah, absolutely. E3 has been something, yeah. That's kind of what I've been hearing. I was hearing Ubisoft was kind of disappointing, at least. I think I made a comment on a post that you made about Ubisoft's not, you know, they're not. I think they did the Rainbow Six thing, which was kind of cool, but I want Splinter Cell, or I want to know you're not going to do Splinter Cell. The limbo is what kills me. I'd like it to come back, but if it's not going to come back, just tell me. I'm a grown man. I've been for a while. I thought the E3 showcase was okay. Or Xbox's E3 showcase was okay. I can definitely see if you were anticipating. If you were anticipating certain games, though. Yeah, well, it's exactly, yeah. And I apologize. Some of the reading's a little difficult because the interface that I have is a little different, a little harder for me to read because it's smaller, much smaller, in fact. It'd come across as a great show. Yeah, it's kind of the general vibe that I've been. That's kind of the. I think E3. It's difficult. You don't want to, as a gamer, you want to come through with expectations and say, I hope people help me fulfill them. And you understand also equally that that's probably not going to be the case. So, I don't know. Square Enix had a thing or two. I mean, the Guardians of the Galaxy thing looked pretty cool. Other than that, I know other parts of the world are trying to move to cell phone gaming, cellular gaming. That's what I've heard, at least. And I've heard specifically it's popular in the very technologically forward parts of Asia. It's very popular to have phone games. I don't like the idea myself. Nothing against anyone who does. I'm just not a fan of the phone games. So the Guardians of the Galaxy look cool. I'm looking forward to the Nintendo show tomorrow. Oh yeah, Nintendo. It's either gonna be really good or really the same thing. I'm okay with. I'm not a mobile game fan. Same, yeah. I just don't think mobile devices currently have the capacity to keep up with the games that we want. And in terms of controls as well, you know, analog buttons just seem to be a lot easier. You know something didn't meet your input, you know what button you're touching 99.9% of the time. And when you don't know, you've recognized that it felt wrong. Oh, but yeah, to the comic book piece, what you were saying, I absolutely love those. So I am Marvel, and Anna is very big DC. We both have no issue switching, but she's definitely a big Batman person. She loves the Batman villains, the Rogues Gallery, and she's just awesome. But she's been reading Marvel Zombies, and of course I've been reading it. I had read Injustice, been reading Injustice, but I'm a big X-Men fan. I was up until, I guess, kind of recently. It seems like that Marvel Comics, in my opinion, have decided to focus less on story and more on other things, and that's okay. It's just the other things aren't things I find particularly interesting. But yeah, their older comics, though, especially in the 90s, and some of the early 2000s ones even, were just awesome. Let's see. I also have fat thumbs, so me playing on a phone covers a path to screen. Too lazy to buy. No, I understand. I have big hands. I mean, you guys see them with the shuffle session. I mean, I have a good size grip and fingers and all that too, so I understand. Yeah, I'm a Batman fan, especially the Arkham games. Absolutely. I even liked a lot of the old Batman games before Arkham came out. I was a big fan of, and I'm sure you probably, when I say it, you'll probably be like, oh yeah, maybe you were a big fan of it too. But like, I really liked Batman and Robin for the Super Nintendo, and I really liked Batman Forever. I think it was Batman. No, it wasn't. It was Batman Returns, not Batman Forever. That game's awful. Batman Returns. I played Batman Forever like crazy, but it's not good. It's not good at all. Batman on the NES was great. Yeah, it definitely was. Sunsoft did that. It was fantastic. Yep, that's what I was expecting. I say that, and then you're just like, aha, yep, those two. But I agree with you. The Arkham definitely are the highlights of that. So, yeah, I don't know. I miss a lot of this era of comic books. There was obviously, and I think every comic book went that we had the Gold Age, the Silver Age, the Bronze Age, obviously. But when it came to this was where, like I said, Jim Lee, of course, now he hops around and just does art for whoever. I think he may just be with DC strictly now, actually, now that I think about it. But this was back when he was just kind of the upstart. They had him, and they had Rob Liefeld, I think it was, doing some of it, which Rob Liefeld's genius creator, not the greatest artist in my opinion. He doesn't draw feet very well, and he draws people way too big. I miss a lot of things from the 80s, 90s. I'm a 90s kid, but I grew up on 80s stuff. Yeah, I completely understand that. I completely... I mean, if you didn't... I feel like the 80s kind of pervades even now. Like, I feel like a lot of things that we're starting to see kind of come back are bred from the 80s / early 90s. And it's really cool to see some of that have a kind of second wind. So yeah, I completely understand that. All right, so this was really cool. This one, if you haven't played this game, I've played it on the channel before. I played it, yet again, this is not a political channel. In fact, one of the things, I'm gonna sneeze real quick. But I quick mute the microphone so you don't hear it. One of the things, and I've said this before, you won't see my face likely on this channel. You'll see it on the other channels. The Mechanos Cards channel, the MK channel, you'll see my face because that's about a guy who has a skill. That's about a person who has a skill and is looking to share that skill. This channel is not that. This channel is about an idea. And that's why I say the room. It's not the retro hour, the retro guy. It's a room, right? You won't see my face on this channel because it's about the idea of coming in and capturing nostalgia and fun and leaving before you come into the room. It's kind of like wiping your feet or taking your shoes off, if you know, taking muddy shoes off. You leave any of the stresses you've had hopefully behind when you step into the retro room. So it's really more of a concept, and that's why I don't do the face thing. And when I do guest stars in other videos, you won't see the face either. So, but I did this video back around the time that the election was happening, and I'm not making any opinion politically or on that, except for the opinion or observation that it seemed like people were kind of going crazy, and a lot of people were really upset either way. My shoes are still on my bed. No, it's okay. I appreciate you for taking that one. I'm treated better. I have super low expectations. That's fair. I have to kind of draw. You kind of have to. For me personally, I have to kind of draw. I have to kind of go in with no expectations. That way, I'm not disappointed or excited, and then I can either be pleasantly surprised, or, you know, it rides the course. I'm not usually disappointed if I don't go in with expectations. But I agree with you. I mean, I understand where you would come from, I should say. Video games for Mutton. Well, I'm lurking, but I'll be here in chat properly soon. Well, thank you so much for coming, Viddy. I really appreciate it. What was I saying? Oh, yes. People seem to be really upset around the election time. Not making an opinion on that, just saying that it seemed from an observations perspective people were. And so I did this game, and it was kind of at that time meant to be a symbolism for, hey, we're all different. We all have different opinions. Everything's different, right? No, I don't think there are any two people on the planet that think exactly alike. So if we can help it just for an hour, let's all kind of just come together and have fun. And this game's really cool because you have 5 very different people, very different abilities, very different thought processes, and they build a really cohesive team. So it's really cool. I don't know. I love the symbology of it. You already know this about me, but I think, man, I'm tired of politics, especially bias in games and politicals. Yeah, bias. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I understand that politics are an important part of the world, but at the same time, like, there's an arena for everything. It wouldn't be appropriate for me to go into a job and play this video game. That's not the correct arena for that. It wouldn't be appropriate for me to go and shuffle cards randomly in the middle of a business meeting or in the middle of a visitation to, a voting ballot. You know, if I go into, not a voting ballot, excuse me, a voting booth, it wouldn't be appropriate for me to go and shuffle cards. There's an arena for everything, right? That's the arena for politics, and in here isn't the arena for that. This is the arena for fun, nostalgia, recapturing. Once you leave this place, I mean, people are welcome to share what they want, but that's just me. I think the arena is for fun. Gaming, not my channel, but gaming, the arena is just to have fun. Sorry. So my favorite X-Men's not actually in here, but I'll explain something. My favorite X-Men has been Nightcrawler. I really like him. However, I did grow really fond, and he is my second favorite because I had the nickname when I was younger. I've been doing the card thing for a long time, so I've had the nickname I got people in college, when I was in college, you know, years ago. I hadn't been in college for quite some time, but anyway, even back then I had it because I shuffle cards in between. I did actually have a long coat like that. I actually still have one. I used to work in a long time ago, even before college. I worked in a meat freezer, and so I bought a big long coat. So when I worked from 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. and I worked in a meat freezer in the 4 a.m. shift. From 4 a.m. to about 9 a.m. I was in a meat freezer. So I actually have a long coat like that. I actually play the cards, and similarly, I'm Southern. I'm from, so I'm from the South. So yeah, there's some commonality there. But I liked him, but I really developed a super liking to him when I started having the nickname. But Nightcrawler is my favorite. I think he's the most dynamic personally. I think he's cool. I don't know how to say the name. Resvergum? I don't know how. I'm sorry. My university was Flounder. It happens, man. We don't pick our monikers, sadly. I understand. Yeah, mine was Gambit, just because of the cards. It wasn't really wearing the code around. It was just the cards. Just shuffling all the cards. I cosplay as Beast. Well, it don't. Well, I appreciate the insight there. I do love Beast. Beast is probably one of my top 5 favorites still. So 1 and 2. He's somewhere 3, 4, 5. I like him. So I'll go ahead and pick him first. In fact, I like him quite a bit. I liked the whole dichotomy of he's the biggest beast, most beastly looking, and yet he's also the most intelligent, like near Reed Richards' level of intelligence. So Beast's gimmick is really cool. He has 2. He has Headbutt, which is quarter circle. Whoops. No, it isn't. There it is. His is 1-1, and then the button. So it's in fighting combo. It's forward, and then Y, and it's Headbutt. And then the other thing is he can stick to ceilings. Okay, breakfast is cooked. Switch the computer, so I'm probably on here. Huzzah! Thank you so much, Viddy. I hope you're enjoying your breakfast. It's such a trippy thing to say that, because I just being south of the equator makes such a huge difference that you don't think about. Or I don't think about, I should say. I'm sure there are people that do. This game was a traditional beat-em-up, but it was so cool because you could choose so many things, and then each character had something different to bring. Like I said, so Beast was his was sticking to things. Sadly, I can't. I knew that was going to happen. You can never get if you get launched, these guys will automatically just own you. There we go. Nope. You get lost. The guys in the brown shirts take like 1 or 2 hits, and the guys in the green shirts take more. I don't remember how many. I haven't counted. This boss fight went number 1. It's a little cheap. Like I said, this is back in the 90s, so these are, this is not a Sentinel, it's an FOH. It's a machine built by the FOH. I don't even think the FOH is really even a thing anymore. I don't know, I haven't really followed that all that much. I don't feel like the FOH is a thing, though. Friends of Humanity. You can also wail on him because he won't start shooting at you until he's completely on screen. So I'm gonna beat him up. There we go. I can't believe there's a new TMNT beat 'em up. Yeah. Oh wait. Is it? Let's see. I'm gonna 1 second. It says, is it? Yep, having breakfast at night. Great idea. Oh wait, is it? I see. Is it Arvo or evening? I'm not sure if I understand that. I'm sorry, Viddy. Over here, it's about 6 p.m. About 6 p.m. Yeah. Australian for afternoon. Ah, okay. Didn't realize that. Okay. Yeah, no. Here it would be just literally the top of the evening at 6 p.m. Thing about Nintendo Directs, you find what a good portion of that is interviews. Yep. That's true. Very, very, very true. Oh, by the way, that was Resvergam? I'm sorry, I still don't. Resvergam. I appreciate you for doing that. I didn't realize it wasn't Vinny that had sent that, so thank you so much. I didn't know that. You nailed it. Whoops, I almost thought everyone knew what Arvo was at. No, I'm sorry, I didn't. Sadly, I don't have very many Australian friends. But part of that's due to travel being limited, for obvious reasons. But at the same time, yeah. I want to see the rumored DK game and a new Switch. I would love to see that. It's been what, 8 years since Tropical Freeze, and Tropical Freeze was a masterpiece in my opinion, both gameplay and melodically. Resvergam, is also Australian. Fantastic. Oi, nice. Yeah, I don't. I sadly I haven't gotten to make my way out there. I am not one of mine. All right, well, there we go. Yeah, I am. For anybody who has been here, I think some people know me. I'm in Texas. I'm gonna hit this mine. As long as you hit it at the bottom of its arc. You can very easily hit these and they not work out, so it's kind of like that. That's alright. Son of a gun. It's got to hit your fist is the thing. It's got to hit. You've got to be as far back as you can go. See if I can do it. I don't know why I'm wasting my time on this side. I'll just go over here. There's a big guy down here I don't want to fight, so I'll just jump over. That guy down there. There we go. Yeah, so long as it hits you on the fist, you're okay. I don't know why they made the hitbox that way, or the hurt box that way, but they did. Cool. Once Tropical Freeze, get it? But yeah, Tropical Freeze was amazing though. To be complete, I mean, I thought it was great. So much so that it was one of the few games that got remastered that I actually bought for the Switch, and I had already bought for the Wii U. I feel as though Beast has just woke up. Pushing to the mission, has no clue what's happening. Yeah, that's kind of the case. I was actually there's a novel from the 90s, an X-Men novel from that. It made me think of it. It was called Jewels of Sidorak, the gems that powered the Juggernaut. And that's exactly what happens. Beast is working on a cure for the Legacy virus. This was a 90s novel, so Legacy virus, or 90s or early 2000s. The Legacy virus was still a thing. This was before the whole Colossus incident. And they do that. They just pick Beast up and they're like, let's go. And he's like, I guess. I don't know what we're doing. I mean, it's just a house card, but still. Okay, so this is a little tricky. This can get a little tricky because he's going to turn around. And he's got a little snaky arm. But the problem is, I have to fight 3 of these. And it gets really tough because the only way you can really do it without... and guarantee you're not going to get hit is to be behind him. But if he gets backed up into a corner, he can't, and his animation doesn't work, he can't turn around, then yes. Okay, that's one. If you stay here and you trigger where he's supposed to look backwards, then he won't turn around. But it's real difficult to do that because Beast is so big. It's real difficult to find that little window where you can still hit him and he's not. It's either him or me. It may be me. It was me. Son of a gun. Let's see. I must be Beast right now, still waking up. Beast can attack like Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, he can. He does a headbutt. Yeah. Also, is this the X-Men game that you put on your 25 list? I don't remember. I don't. Hold on, let me look. There's so many X-Men games, and several of them are just super good. Here it is. I'll be able to tell you in just a second, though. I can imagine the guy that was just playing the guitar on this one was just, I mean, he's hammering at it. Let's see. No, I put X-Men versus Street Fighter. There we go. Which I will probably play on this stream to make sure that I am, that a certain, because this is a test stream. This is trying to test a couple of different consoles. I'm using OBS. Hold on one second. There we go. Yeah, so I'm actually using OBS. I'm actually using OBS for this, and so because I'm using OBS instead of my normal Streamlabs setup, I'm trying to test a bunch of consoles, and that's exactly why I've chosen X-Men. There's so many games, X-Men games, just on every console. So that's the one I chose. X-Men versus Street Fighter. You're a good man. I appreciate that. I love that game. It was on arcade. There was a pizzeria that I used to go to that had the arcade cab, and I loved it. I loved playing cab. I love lists. What are those lists? What are these lists? I think that's, I don't know if you're okay with me sharing it. I don't know if you'd rather share it or if you'd like me to on here, but I'm happy to. I will say it's a project and it's a really cool one. Yes, yeah, that's the one. So, yeah, I sent you all the voiceovers. I'm just working on sending you the captions, by the way. I'm working through that. I should have those to you well before the deadline, so. It needs to be a collection of the Capcom Marvel games, but I guess licensing. Yeah, Marvel's gotten really complicated too since the Disney buyout. Especially with the Fox properties, Disney wants to do its own thing. Same with Konami license games. Sounds cool. Yeah. Nice. X-Men vs. Street Fighter had that whole True Believers intro. Yes, yes. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, Viddy, I should. I know I've sent you my voiceovers and everything, but and hopefully they sound okay. But I'll send you the. I'll get the captions done fairly soon, and have those to you well before the deadline, so you don't have to worry. But yeah. All right, we're gonna go ahead and pick. We'll do Cyclops. Of these 5, Cyclops is probably my least favorite. I've never been a big fan of him, and it just they've kind of fed into it constantly with him being the like whiny Boy Scout. The big problem with Scott, one of the things that they did, which is a little cool and at the same time a little frustrating, is they kept with the comic book heights. You watch the movies, like the people are not the heights of the comic book characters. So for example, Tony Stark is 6'1" in the comics, but Robert Downey Jr. is only 5'9". They didn't really care too terribly much to stay true to that. Wolverine's 5'3" tall, very very short guy, but in the movies he's Hugh Jackman, so Hugh Jackman is 6'2" or whatever, 6 foot. Yeah, I think 6'2". They didn't do that. Well, in the comics, they actually, obviously, since they're just the comics, stay true to that, and that makes it really difficult to be some of these characters because you're such a ridiculously large target. Son of a gun. Son of a. It's the pixeliest perfect jump you can make. There it is. Wolverine isn't a 6'2" Australian? No, he's not a 6'2" Australian, sadly. He was Australian in the 80s cartoon called Pride of the X-Men, ironically. He wasn't 6'2", but he was an Australian in it, or they got an Australian voice actor, I believe. Let's see. Thanks, Retro. I'm using audio parameters that I mentioned, which I think helps with the audio editing of your voice. My older brother is also offering to sound mix the project, as he is a big Danny DeVito for Wolverine audio file. Yeah, no, that would be an interesting. Took me a bit time to get all that. Yeah, I loved Logan. Heck yeah, and Hugh Jackman did a brilliant. He just got better as he went in the role, in my opinion. The reason he was called Wolverine was because he's like the animal, small, vicious, and able to take out animals much bigger than it. Yeah. Except for if you watch the 2008 film, in which case he's cool. It was because his wife said she wanted to tell him the random tale of Kue Kawatsu. Retro, I worked on a new video for the channel today. Just a quick update. I finally got through the full recording without stumbling words, and then a save error on the video, and it just didn't work. I'm so sorry to hear that. I know exactly what that's like. I've done that where I've edited a project or filmed a project and then it just crashed on me. Yeah, I actually called, I did it because I was editing, and when I was editing, let me do this real quick. Yeah, so I was editing a video at one point, and my Adobe would crash just non-stop, and so I was saving every step of the way, and it still crashed. It still completely crashed out on me, and so because of that, I ended up complaining, and they ended up giving me I think they ended up giving me like a year at half price or quarter price, something like that. Because if you're gonna pay, I mean, that's the thing. If you're gonna pay, it's getting to be. It was when I started. It was only like $48 a month, all things said and done. But now it's like 60 something. If you're gonna pay $60 a month for something, it better darn well work. And my PC's not the newest PC. I get, guys, good lord. I mean, respect for the teamwork, but okay. Okay. There's a health drop up here in a bit, but I don't know if I'll make it because I've got to get past the... Ah, he got me. He got my feet. Let's see. And ramble. I can sit there and ramble about games for hours. And I click record. I'm all over the place. I just got to practice more, I guess. Yeah, I can't. I mean, I'm probably not the greatest example of staying on topic when it comes to some of this stuff, honestly. But as far as performance art, I mean, I know when I started doing the card thing for people, like that was I had trouble getting down what I wanted to say, and then I'd just ramble on for an hour and people would be like, I don't know, the cards are cool. So sometimes it's just a matter of just doing it a bunch of times, if you feel like doing it. Resvergam says, do you use Audition? Yeah, Resvergam, is that how you say that? If I'm saying that at least halfway okay, I'll feel decent, but if I'm saying that completely wrong, do I use Audition? When I'm doing recording for something, yes, I use Audition. With my dry signal is Audition. My wet signal, if I do any processing, is I do some compression, I do a little bit of EQ, and I use iZotope RX8, the VST2, VST3 plugin, depending on your version, for voice, for intelligent noise cancellation. So iZotope was a little expensive, It does not come with Audition, but the beautiful thing about it is that even if I used Audacity, I could use iZotope. So, yeah. I also recorded 60 minutes of Bioshock before without realizing that my headset or mic was on mute. I'm a true prof. It's okay. It's also a matter of the gear you have, and not you specifically, but just in general. A lot like the interfaces that I have to help kind of be. So I will say I use interfaces that are way overkill. I'm doing a video that got voted for. Thank you, by the way, to anyone who participated in that. I think several of you guys did. I'm doing a video on how I do my setup, what my setup has. And it's both open for critique if people don't like it, and it's open for if people like certain aspects of it so that they can know what I'm using and integrate it, all that kind of good stuff. But most of the stuff I use has meters on it that tells me if I'm getting signal or not. And then that's, so it's not like I imagine if I did it with a headset mic, I would have 30 plus videos that I'd have to scrap because of exactly that. So in my case, I'm using a piece of hardware that's telling me that the microphone's got signal, and then I look at now I have software that tells me that on top of it, so it's just, let's see. I've had trouble with my Let's Play setup recently. If I want to continue I want to continue my Zelda project, hoping to fix it today. I hope you do. And I mean, I'm not a humongous or tremendous help, but if ever it does have, if ever you do have a something that, if anyone does have stuff I can help with, I mean, I'm happy to help, even if it's just tech support. I did that for several. I wasn't tech support. I was actual IT, but still, I mean, same basic premise for years. If I'm ever able to help, I'm happy to help. I also went 2 hours in Secure without realizing that the game had a health bar in the bottom left corner because a drink bottle was blocking the view. That happens. That happens. My television that I'm playing on right now, I have you guys have probably seen it in the Mechanos Cards video. There's two monitors behind me. One's an HD, one's an SD. Both of them are big. Both of them are a little bit distorted in different ways. One's HD distortion, so 4:3 looks weird on it. And the other one is obviously, it's an old kind of CRT projector style, so. That's my problem. My setup is PS5 and my headset, LOL. That's better than nothing, at least. You gotta start somewhere. Yeah, I think I've gotten to talk a little bit, but I want to talk a little bit outside of this, if that's okay, about some of that, and get your feeling on some of the stuff that we spoke about earlier, just to be sure it's okay. Does Audacity actually have good noise suppression like outside noise? I don't know if that question is directed towards me or not. I'm assuming maybe not. I haven't really used Audacity, but I can say. Let me clarify. I haven't really used Audacity's noise suppression. I'm not using Audacity at all now. I know when you have like a plugin, like an iZotope RX8, and I'm not saying that that's the one you have to get, that you get to bypass whatever Audacity's factory is, their normal in-house noise suppression. You get to replace it with yours, and that's awesome. That's super cool. iZotope specifically has amazing, it's called adaptive noise suppression, and so it reads the background noise through the entirety of the piece, and then it'll change the aggressiveness of the attack and release depending on how loud noise is. If you've got trains running in the background, it's more aggressive, and if you have, some birds twittering outside, it's less so. My older brother helped set the compression, EQ, and high filters for pretty much for all stages, months, same for months, years, even. Yeah. Once you got a good setting that works for you, that works. I've been having a blast with Stream Elements. I hooked up an Elgato Stream Deck, and it's playing a piano now. That's pretty cool. I don't have a Stream Deck, so for my transitions, I'll show this really quickly. I believe my intermission scene is this one. So you guys can see the feed. Now, granted, the feed's not really fancy. Like I said, I'm using standard OBS here. This is the intermission screen. I'm not actually using a Stream Deck for that. I'm using a MIDI controller. It's the Novation Launchpad Mini. I bought it at a pawn shop. It's very common phrase you'll hear with me for $20, maybe. And then I just macroed my scenes transition. So I put this custom stinger in, and then I just macroed the transitions to buttons 1 through 7, I think, for the ones I have, and it seems to do okay. Not as cool as the Stream Deck for sure, though. So go back to my normal scene here. There we go. Let's see. I hope to learn StreamElements, Streamlabs, OBS in the near future, so I don't have to mostly rely on my PS4's on stream. Yeah, I have to be honest with you. StreamElements, not StreamElements, excuse me. StreamElements is great. Streamlabs, very intuitive in my opinion, easy to get a hold of. This is OBS, so it's much more analog. Still nice. It's not bad. But there was a huge learning curve. It took me a while to figure out how all this worked and the macros. And by the way, the macros that I'm using and the device that I'm using are not linked at all to OBS. They're not OBS, excuse me. They're their own thing. HID macros using something called Noobs Commander, using an OBS WebSocket to basically redirect the command. So it's a ridiculous series of things that I now have a good grasp on, but it did take me some time to learn. That would come in handy with my horribly ventilated Alienware Aurora. Seriously, they'll slap the leaf blower on the PC and call it good. Yeah. Post-Dell Alienware. I agree with you. They absolutely have been doing that. The tower that I'm using, thankfully, it's a custom. It's a custom. I'll go over it briefly in my how I do it video if that's of any interest. But I was thankful that not only do I have a liquid cooling, but I was able to put it way out of the way of the microphone and put it in a very easily and well ventilated area. There's no sound mixing, so I have to play games from the audio sliders. I was just hoping to stream Persona 5 Royal, but you cannot turn it up or down. Yeah, that's a big problem I have in a lot of these. The sound mixing I do is digital, obviously, for the OBS thing, which I think is a step up. There's a great program, it's freeware, called Voicemeeter Pro and Voicemeeter Banana. They're all, I think, donationware, so you can technically get them for free, or you can donate some to the developers, which, by the way, absolutely worth it if you can donate. And it's a great virtual interface for people that are wanting to kind of crossfade. I like hardware. As much of it as I can make hardware as possible, the better. So all of my stuff happens to be on actual physical faders, just because I've noticed that when I do a digital fader, it doesn't actually move very smoothly. But Voicemeeter would be the exception to that if I had more ready access to the digital portion of it. But I think that's a good. I mean, I definitely understand that particular criticism. So. Okay, let me jump back in. Sorry about that. I wanted to make sure I was interacting with the chat because the chat. Let me see if I can do. I just want to try this. This might screw something up. So. If my stream just dies, please forgive me. But I want to try this. Can I do that and then hit Control? Let's do this. I think we're seeing well. And can we? Wait, can I do that? Is that okay? Is that working? Let's see. I mean, it seems like it is. Yeah. So I apologize. It's not. My biggest problem is it's just not very big. Celestial says, Gambit is your man. Well, thank you very much. Was definitely a nickname that has followed me around for a long time. Just due to the cards, though. Heavywave says, which is why I want to switch to hardware. Good man. Voicemeeter Banana is decent. One thing is your computer has to handle everything you're trying to do with multiple filters, I think. Yep, you're exactly right. Yeah, hardware is absolutely the better way to go, in my opinion. And like I said, I use a Studio Labs AR12. But that's not a cheap piece of. I use Mercari. I found a guy who was willing to get rid of his, and it was in great shape. That's luck. That's the only reason. Like my setup is super overkill, only because I got lucky. That is the only reason. It's not me saying, "Hey, look, I got this. I'm wealthy." No, not at all. I just got lucky. But I have developed some preferences for it, and that's kind of what I'm going to do in the video. That's what I'm excited about doing in the how I do it video, is showing. Like, hey, this thing is actually very expensive, but this thing is not, and it sounds just as good. I hope that's the case. I hope that's okay. I hope you guys will find that interesting. A lot of you voted that you would, so I hope that's okay. Everybody getting to say hi, that's fantastic. So wonderful to see you guys, by the way. Celestial, everybody who's been in here, by the way. AR, Vidi, Thumb, Resvergram, Gam, if I'm saying that right, Celestial, Heavy Waves, I know Rave Warrior Alpha, I know you've changed your name, and forgive me for that, but I know you were in here as well. So thank you so very much. Everybody's showing up to this little rinky-dink test stream that I thought was going to be awful, and not saying that it isn't in terms of what I'm participating, what my contribution is, but you guys have actually turned something that could have been awful into something wonderful. So thank you so very much. Only have a few minutes, but I want to say hi. Hey, of course. Hey, you took a couple minutes, and the fact that you were willing to spend them here is very, 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 very kind, and I'm very appreciative. Them pawn shops. I'm telling you, man, pawn shops are where I find a ton of good stuff. I find it, I clean it up, I fix it, I package it like new if I have to. At the Retro Room, how big are you on Shovel Knight? I love Shovel Knight, but I have not played it in a long time. It's really cool. I love the music, but I haven't played it in a while. You guys can call me Ash, by the way, if anyone remembers that is. I just didn't know. Me personally, I'm not big on, like I said, for me, this channel and what I do online, my online presence is not me. It's an idea of a retro room, a room where people can come and converse. So I don't usually use my real name for that reason. Most of you guys may or may not know it. That's why I don't go by my normal name. But if you're comfortable with it, or if that's your preference, I happily will call you that. And yes, I absolutely remember. Did someone say Shovel Knight? I've not played Shovel Knight. Whoops, backlog. I saw a set of playing cards with Shovel Knight. If I ever get my hands on it, I didn't know that they existed, but now that I do, if I can get my hands on them, and I'll try, I may do a shuffle sesh with them and see how they handle and try to do some. Retro Room, is literally my. Oh yeah. No, that's perfectly okay. Whatever it's more about making sure it's your preference. So, if that's your preference, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, please do share it. Yeah, no, if that's your preference, I'd be happy to call you that. It's just a matter of preference. All right, so Cyclops. Let's do Wolverine. Wolverine's stage is okay. His move is Claw Stab, which I believe is the same as Beast's. It's a little overpowered, but if you take a look at him, like he's all I mean, he's already not very tall, but then he's always like when he hunches down, his hitbox is so small. Like, poke. There used to be, I had a friend who collected the memorabilia, and there used to be these, I guess it came in, not like a Happy Meal, but something kind of like that. These little like plastic blue gloves you could wear that had a little switch which had the retractable plastic claws on them. I always remember thinking that was hilarious. Of course, you now have people that'll do it when they're doing the cosplays that are actually donning real Panteras. And people that make knives are making Panteras that are actually Wolverine accurate, screen accurate. Those knife guys, man. You got one, I got 6. Game Grumps actually did an episode on this. It cracks me up the bit that they went through, but they saw so little. They saw so few of the characters. And I was a little bit disappointed about it. I think they only saw 2 of the characters. Whoops. I have to wonder what the composers... I don't know why, but there's something... I mean, and it could just be obviously nostalgia. I mean, I think that factors in. But, some of this music is just incredibly... just really good compared to... I don't know. Like, yet again, games now have full orchestral scores. I understand that, but like... some of this stuff is just like, wow, that was really impressive. Yeah, the big that's a Friends of Humanity sign back there behind him. He can't hit you if he's up here unless he jumps. Chocolate yellow before doing that. He doesn't know that though. He'll figure it out in a minute. And then you just beat him up while off screen. Same rules as Beast applies. But Wolverine does way more damage. I think I'm gonna brute force it. There we go. Whoops. I don't know how you're supposed to get that blue X over there. I also don't know what the point of climbing the spine is. Oh, it's this big guy over here. I forgot this. These guys take a ton of hits, but if they hit you, it's like a quarter of your health gone. Wolverine's boss fights, they try to distract you. It's actually decently difficult, but it's not ridiculous. Doesn't mean I'll do well on it because I haven't played this in a while. But the idea is the Sentinel up here is actually who you're fighting. So if you sit there and you're messing around with the little guys down below, whoops, then you're just kind of wasting your time. I mean, you can do it, but they'll respawn indefinitely. There we go. The guys automatically go away. It's the first one I've done completely. Or completed, rather. Let's see. Alright. Wolverine's back's gonna be killing him when he's older. Well, that's definitely true, but how much older? At this point, he was already like 180. Yeah, you've been playing as Hugh Jackman. Yeah, that's true. I do find them pretty inseparable, by the way. So I gotta catch up. Oh my goodness. Okay. Didn't pick up an unpronounceable. At least you didn't pick an unpronounceable screen name. It's not necessarily unpronounceable. It's just without when you see something but you haven't had it phonetically spelled or spoken to you. You just it's probably pronounceable. I'm just not great at it. Let's see. Power Rangers gloves that would make the grunts when you wave your arms. That's pretty cool, actually. I mean hands. Yeah, no, that's pretty cool, though. The thing's connected to the end of your arms. You mean fingers? I'm just messing around. Our Switch reference. How was Dhalsim from Street Fighter? That's a good point. He should have been in ARMS. That would have been awesome, AR. That's a great point. Dhalsim could be in Smash. That would be interesting. Yoga disappointment. That caught me. That's really good. Speaking of Smash, one of the biggest predictions of course, is the reveal of the next fighter, but I can't think of who it will be. Crash Bandicoot. Crash would be cool. Crash would be very cool. Let's see. Okay, so is it a long A or a short A? Resurgam or Resurgame? And here's remembering the only Latin I know. Here's me remembering the only Latin I know is mostly One Winged Angel from Final Fantasy VII. That's all right. It's a good song to know. Latin's used a lot in the playing card. Actually, believe it or not, in the playing card industry. Almost every pack of cards that I have, the special packs of cards, not I'll start pulling those out in the next shuffle sesh. I'll start showing some of the more fancy cards that I get to use. Almost all of them have Latin on them. A lot of aces. Some of the aces have Nunquam Dormio, which is I never sleep. Short A. Okay. Resurgam. Yeah, Resurgam. Okay. It's not perfect Latin, but I think I can at least say it. So I'll try and make sure I get it right. Yeah, so Nunquam Dormio, which is I never sleep. Mundus val decepi ergo decepitorum, which is the world invites deception, therefore let it be deceived. De dubos males miras est sempre legundum, which is one of my absolute favorites. Is on the back of, I use one of my favorite colors, purple, and I use decks called Monarchs. Some of those are kind of nice, and the backs of them have that that particular phrase on the back of them, which is of two evils the lesser should be or must be chosen. So it's a lot of Latin used. I enjoy Latin. It's dead, but I have a book of Latin poetry, and I also have a really nice Latin translation of Inferno by Dante Alighieri. So very, very nice. All right, gotta go. Fire. Nice. All right, heavyweights. Well, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Thank you so very much. It was great seeing you, and I do hope I get to see you on Omega stream. I do hope we get to see more of you. I hope we get to see another. Excuse me, I have a hiccup. Another stream, hopefully, sometime soon. Playing Final Fantasy, the comment section when we was hearing the Latin like this, June sounding like Xbox. Yep. Sephiroth's name can't be misunderstood. Yeah, that's true. There are a lot of really good, I think they do it where it's the misread lyrics or whatever, but it's pretty, anyway, it's pretty funny. Okay, so now that we've done this, I'm going to do one more on this, and then I'm going to move over to another game, and we're going to try that, we're going to test it out, if that's okay. We'll go ahead and do Gambit. Psylocke's stage is my least, I like Psylocke a lot, but I do not like her stage, her first stage here. Cheesy. Yeah, so to throw cards, it's really interesting on this. They gave him, I think, more, it seems like. But it's forward to throw a single card, forward and attack to throw a single card, forward or circle forward to actually throw 3 cards, and then it's direction, like up, attack to throw a card out. So it's not ridiculously difficult, but if you're a fighting fanatic and you like integrating those moves in the middle of an action platformer, well, this is your game. I know you can still kick me. You knock that off. Oh, okay. You knock it off, I'll poke. Jab you. Okay. Nice. There's actually a jab. By the way, the poke jab thing was not a joke. I was like, up. Oop. You can actually do it. Easy poofs. Oh, okay. I had missed that. What's this? Estans. Yep. I believe that's it. They also did a lot of. They also did Latin in, which was really cool in the Smash Brothers Melee No, Smash Brothers Brawl theme, which I still think is the best Smash Brothers theme. It's my favorite. I shouldn't say it's the best. It's my favorite. There we go. I believe it starts Adi Famam Ilius. And then they have that opera singer come in and really just nail this amazing Latin solo. Very, very cool. Alright. This little barrel over here, traditional. It's got health in it, but I don't really need it. There had to be an elevator part. Luckily, they all come with the elevator. Oh, well. I said that, and then I looked elsewhere, and then I failed miserably. So now I'm going to need that health. I was hoping not to use it till the end of the elevator ride. Nope. Oh yeah, the darker green shirts I think even take longer to hurt. Maybe not. Leg sweep. You can't really leg sweep, but you know. Sadly, I don't think the cards do as much damage as Cyclops' beam, which at this point in the comics would make sense, but now that we know what we know in the comics of both of them, wouldn't make sense at all. Good thing I could see that at least that first bullet coming. Get over here. There we go. Yeah, this is where it gets a little tough. I've got a knife guy and a big guy to take on. As long as I can keep executing the throw card combo, he can't get close, but that knife guy makes it. Whoops! Okay, that's good. Thank goodness. Smallest speedboat ever. See? Alright, so this one, same situation. This is a little bit more simple. Just take the guns out. Sometimes a little tough to do since we're using flight combos. Like that. I was in the middle of up, throw. I don't think I've ever seen them all four fire like that either. It is RNG, by the way. Anyone who's... I'm pretty darn sure it's RNG. Yeah. And then this one, these guys in the back are distractions. You just got to take the pilot out. I just keep poking him in the ankles, and the other two guys automatically die because the plane starts... I guess I'm flying it now? I don't know that I had a pilot's license. Okay. So that's kind of that game. It's a lot of fun, very difficult. I'm going to switch over games, though, to another one. This is a lot of fun to watch, so hopefully you guys will forgive me. Let me catch up on chat real quick. Let's see. Cheesy poops. That's ever very nice. Was having Smash as well. Publishing. I'm self-publishing a tabletop role-playing game. Old school because I'm a fossil. I wouldn't say that, but I wouldn't say that. It's a magic system that uses Latin-esque spell components the players call out during their turns to cast spells. Oh, that'd be really cool. That'd be really interesting. It says two watching Justice Aussies then. LOL. Target name. Gotta get going. Have a good night, guys. Later, Retro. We'll see you later, AR. I really appreciate you for dropping by. I am going to take a moment to swap games, and I'll be right back. So hopefully you guys will forgive me. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. I think it's intermission. I think I'm going to do BRB, so that should be for 6. Is that where that takes us? It does. Let's do that real quick, and then... think I got some stuff switched. All right, so we're going to try this. We're going to see if it works. I hope it works. But he says, got to go now. Phone call, bye all. Hey, thanks for stopping in. Just me then, eh? I guess so. But I really appreciate you for being here. I don't know how many, it doesn't show me how many people are watching, but I know at least two have left, or three have left. I know Heavy Waves, AR, and Biddy has gone, but that's okay. That's perfectly all right. I'm just excited to have had anybody who wanted to show up, and I'm certainly excited to still have you visiting. So thank you so much. Thank you for stopping in. I really appreciate this. You stopped into probably one of the most unusual streams ever, especially considering I'm trying a completely new setup at this point. So I hope it's left a decent impression. I normally have a lot more setup to it, and I'm going to be working and adding to this. But yeah. So thank you so very much. Thank you, by the way, everybody who has shown up. Even if you've left, if you come back and you watch this after the case, I want to say thank you so much for having been here, conversing with each other and having a conversation with me. It's been awesome. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and switch back over, and I think this is still going to be, this may be a little lighter, so I'm going to try it. We're going to see. Let's try HD. Yeah, we're coming through pretty wide. I didn't realize this is kind of weird. I'm tied to the chair with the stream on. That's a thumb. No worries, bud. Tied up to the chair. No worries, but I'm appreciative. If you've got important things to do, you've got important things to do. If you don't, and you're wanting to spend some of that time here, either way, I'm very appreciative. Also, I'd like to get with you if it's at all possible whenever we get the chance. Hopefully, like you said this week, to just kind of let you know what the tech situation is with me to make sure everything's going to be okay for the other thing that you asked me for. So I watch stream while I'm on the treadmill. Keeps my mind off those 20 miles. Hey, if you're doing 20 miles, I understand. I mean, it takes anything you can to do that. I do not do 20 miles a day. I don't have a treadmill, but that's pretty cool. I honestly don't. To be completely honest, I wish I did have a treadmill. So you guys can actually see I'm playing on the I don't guess it really matters, but I'm playing on the Dreamcast. And this is a good chance. I don't think I've ever tested a Dreamcast game on here, but we're sticking with the theme of the X-Men, so we're still going to stay that. But please bear with me if it's a little weird. It may be weird. It may be odd. I know this is kind of an unusual situation, but let's see.
Marvel vs. Capcom.
So here's Marvel vs. Capcom. Marvel vs. Capcom, of course, for the Dreamcast in this case. And I always really liked the art. I always really liked the art that they had of these guys. Like, it was just super. So a lot of it was fun. It was self-aware. Nice. Red Dream is one of the best emulators I've ever set up. Huh. I've never used it. This is I've not used it before. This is I'm actually using a legitimate Dreamcast for this. So I mean, if that would eliminate some of the issues, you may see some resetting. The reason that it is stretched, the aspect ratio on this, is because the Dreamcast that I have set up is actually going into an HDMI up converter. So it goes into a series of let's see. Let me make sure I'm telling this right. It goes out via yellow, white, red composite video into a series of 4 in, 1 out switchers, and I have 3 of those daisy chained to each other, and then those all feed out of a master out from them to an HDMI upscaler, and that HDMI upscaler auto converts a lot of it to 16:9. So I only did it for ones that I didn't have an alternate way to do it, and so that basically turns it into a stretched kind of, but these were on the arcade machine, so I don't feel like it makes people super uncomfortable to do that. And then that goes into an 8 in, 1 out Blackhawk HDMI switcher. So that's how I do this. So I actually have the Sega Saturn hooked up, and Nintendo 64, Atari Jaguar, all of those are hooked up to this same switch. Mr. Echo YT Frost Glacier says, I want a mod. Oh well, I'm not sure how to what to say to that. I think you can just type in that you're able to type that in. But welcome to the stream. I think you're able to type in how to mod people. I don't remember how I modded the people I modded, so but I think you're able to type in type in the person that you wanted to mod, and I think it'll do it. I'll go back and figure it out if you're asking me how to do that. But anyway, welcome to the stream. I really appreciate you for popping in. Let's see. Viddy says, actually, short phone call. So I did see. Is this game on the PS2? No, this is on the Dreamcast. I'm actually playing this from my Dreamcast. Let's see. Legit Hardware is always the best. I just snagged every game and console emulator I could because I don't have the room for those beautiful consoles. The oldest console I have is the PS2. That's completely understandable. My oldest is the SNES. The oldest one that I have hooked up right now is the NES, but I do have the Atari 26. Oh no, I have a ColecoVision actually with an Atari 2600 mod. Is it a ColecoVision or an Intel? No, it's an Intellivision 2 with an Atari 2600 module on the side. That I'm hoping to eventually hook up. I have a VCR that I'll be routing it coaxial in to composite out to the switcher, to the HDMI upscaler, and all that good stuff. So, but I don't have that done just yet. I have all the cables for it. I just don't have the room just yet. But I'll make it. The American SNES got beaten with a Fisher-Price stick, though. I don't know about that. No, come on. Maybe it did. I don't know. Yeah, plus our cartridges down under don't have the top name labels. Does not help me with this. Yeah, I do. I have a couple of. I don't know exactly if all the cartridges are the same, but I have Super Famicom cartridges, and I'm a little sad. They're great games, but it does seem like the North American version kind of got the better cartridge design, at very least, I think I should say. No offense to anybody who prefers the other. Plus our cartridge. Okay, sorry. Have you played the Atari today? And the sing song. Nice. I'm going to take a look at something really quickly. Just real quick. Nice. Okay. Whoops. There we go. Just looking across at my SNES, it's still got Street Fighter 2 Turbo cartridge inside. Must have played that game quite a bit lately. That would be an interesting competition to throw out. If you have a SNES or you have a console, tell us what cartridge is in it. If I told you mine, my Super Nintendo has Adventures of Batman and Robin, the Konami one, in it, and my Sega CDX has Castlevania Bloodlines in it. That I can see right now. I missed out on the Dreamcast when it was around. But sure as a beaut. I played Cannon Spike. Oh yeah, heck yeah! It was great. I didn't get it really at its heyday. I kind of got it a little later. We'll just play a couple of arcade rounds or two. An arcade round or two. Let's play with mortal enemies, Wolverine. And Hulk. And that was actually, we'll do manual because I don't know the Dreamcast stuff very well. I've started a good trend. I think you have. I honestly think you have. I love the Hulk face down there. That does not look very threatening at all. I love it.
Let's go.
I also like that they got the original voice actor. Yeah, Wolverine's first appearance was against the Incredible Hulk. In fact, I think he was wearing orange like this. The Hulk was not purple though. Looks like it's playing for... Oh, son of a gun. These games, in my opinion, are some of the best fighting games out there, though. Like, they did such a good job on making these look good and be fun and like, style out. The style of them stood out, rather. I think it was really cool.
Good. Maximum level.
Oh, I see it. I'm gonna knock him out first.
Good.
The heck was that noise? And are you guys still able to hear? I hope. Is the game audio okay? Is it a little loud?
Good.
Looks like it's a little loud, so let's see. Hello, there we go. So it does look like I'll have to. Sorry about that. Yeah, it looks so the it's weird, but your system outputs are. There we go. The system outputs are different, so whatever the SNES was putting out is different than the maximum volume that the Dreamcast put out. So I needed to be cognizant of that when switching consoles and make sure that those are balanced. That's very minor inconvenience, though, I think. Hopefully I didn't bust your guys' ears, though. I'm so sorry if I did.
Halt. Win.
The sounds... Oh, that's the sounds... I never realized that. I've never realized that. Uh-oh. This isn't going to be good. We're against two fast characters. Oh, Dr. Wily's back there. Come on. This is a fight that's actually happened 5 times in comic book history. Wolverine versus Gambit. And I believe it's a tie. I believe it's 2 Wolvie, 2 Gambit, 1 tie. Out of the 5. Oh, nope. I did a dive thing. Oh, he did go ahead and switch. How do I switch on the Dreamcast? Well, that isn't it. I can hit a bunch of buttons and have a glowy X come out at you, Chun-Li. Dang. Just for my point of reference, because I don't hear it the same as you guys, is this a lot better? Does it sound better? More balanced and maybe a little easier to hear everything. Game has some gorgeous sprites and animations. It does. It absolutely does. Oh, she's going to beat me up. Kikushu. Dang. I knew it probably wasn't going to go well the minute I had Hulk and... Okay, for this. Let's try this again, but we'll try it with... No, we're not going to try... Hulk looks hilarious. Gene, let's see. Let's pick a fast character and a not fast character. Ooh, you know what? And... Heck yeah. Still gonna do that because I'm still not comfortable with the thing. Yeah, better sound mix now. Okay, thank you, Viddy. I appreciate that. Yeah, your voice is louder than the game. Okay, thank you, Resurgam. I appreciate it. Okay, I don't remember his controls in this one. I wanted a fast character and a not fast character. How do I switch to the not fast character? Ah, son of a gun. He pulled that one where he throws everything in his jacket pocket at me. Alright, this is cool. I don't remember... This was before the, like, McDonald Gargan days, so this was when Venom was super cool. Of course, there's the new Venom movie coming out now, which I think is also really cool. I know that the first one was really corny, but I thought it was pretty good. It was fun to watch. Holy crud, I didn't even know I could do that. Oh, but she could do that. Well, I guarantee. Alright, I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna beat these guys. Let's pick a, what do we got? Let's go all Street Fighter here. Rue and Zangief.
Thank you.
And we got Lou as a support. I don't know who Lou is, but we got him. I like Tom Hardy, so it's good with... Yeah, I agree. I agree. Tom Hardy's a pretty brilliant actor, honestly.
Ready.
Honestly, I gotta say, another thing that's really impressive about this is the frame rate of it is pretty great. I'm noticing how Rue is bouncing around, like, perfectly. Come on. Wait, there's a windy pose I held. Okay, I know how to Hadouken. Let's just punch him a few times. Son of a gun. The Dreamcast was a beast. No games I saw on that. Yeah, no, it. Let's see. Hold on. First time I'd heard of these fighting games, oddly enough, was through a video game parody someone did of a 3D Movie Maker. With 3D Movie Maker. I don't expect many remember 3D Movie Maker. Is 3D Movie Maker, if I'm just spitballing, but is that the one with the purple Screw Eyes character that used to go through the theater and you made your own movie with these characters? You'd click and drag, you could do your own voiceovers, you use their really awful voice acted lines. And then you'd finish doing your project, you'd watch the project and you go, hey, that was excellent, what should we do now? Is that the one we're talking about? Stuttered. Oh, it stuttered? Uh-oh, okay. I'm not sure if it's because I had paused it or what was going on. I've paused it, so I don't know if that was why. Or if it actually had like a screen tear type stutter. And yep, that's the one with McZ. Yep, the McZ. I don't know why I call him Screw Eyes. He had Screw Eyes, but I don't, yeah. That was yeah, I do remember that. A buddy of mine and I like to mess around with that for, I mean, like we were teenagers and we were just messing around with it a ton. It was hilarious. Never had a Dreamcast, even got Shenmue on PS4 instead of the cast. I actually have Shenmue 1 and 2 both on the Dreamcast. I was very fortunate, but I ended up getting Shenmue 2 on I ended up getting the remastered collection obviously for PS4, and then I did get 2 on that, so. Call me Hadouken because I'm downright fierce. That's that is brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant. Oh man, 3D Movie Maker got me in the creative filmmaking mold, I guess. Yeah, it was good. I just remember them doing the. I remember like the awful screams and the awful music. It's crazy. And of course, in every film we had, it always used Bongo, the big, the heftier guy, the heftier bald guy. I thought that little girl was gonna, like, pull a knife or something. How do we do Red Tornado? Zangief, spin or something, buddy. Oh, yeah, I mean, that worked, too. But yeah, I think the, alright, I'm gonna let's mirror matches. Let's see if I'm just messed up here. Yeah, 3D Movie Maker was really cool. I did absolutely mess with it a lot. I'm gonna try and mirror match and just see if that's probably not gonna do me a lick of good, but we're gonna try it. If anybody's curious as to why it's changing costumes, I guess default on it wasn't the A button? Also, when I'm doing easy, it's easy combos, but it's not making the characters any easier. I don't know what difficulty I'm on. Probably just normal. I'm not the most spectacular fighting game guy. Should I be using the thumbstick or should I be using the D-pad on this? I mean, you'd think the D-pad, right? But I'm not doing real good with it. Son of a gun. He's got combos like crazy. Look, you don't have to let me hit you, but just stop hitting me. Hold on. He didn't even hold on. I asked for it politely, though. Not really. I kind of was a little demanding. Sorry about that. I got you. I got the fast leg things. Boy, this is brutal. He didn't relent. My goodness. I've noticed over the years that people are making some alien questionable movies with it. I was probably the most innocent kid ever then. Some questionable movies. I'm sorry, I thought you said alien. I don't know. Yeah, that's weird. I think, or some text-to-speech thing called Hollywood. Type in whatever rude things you want the characters to say. Yeah, could be. That makes sense. I've seen a lot of people have gotten more. I don't know what to say. They've gotten more. I guess felt like they should do more. All right, I'm gonna try one more. We're doing Avengers. And then I'll test one more, and then I'll call it. But I just wanted to try a couple of things on the stream, play it back, have hopefully some people visit, which they did, and all of you guys, like I said, have said before, and will continue to say, thank you so much for visiting. Additional thanks to people who joined late, like Echo YT. I feel bad because I get it mixed up. I think it's Echo YT Frost Glacier, something like of that nature. I'll double check it, but yeah, thank you very much for visiting. I think that's pretty great. Okay, I know how to shoot webs, but I don't know how to direct where I'm shooting the webs. The problem is I definitely don't know how to combo. That could have been a combo. It wasn't, but it could have been. Dang. Alright, 7 more miles to go. Would you let me hit the ground, Chun-Li? Good lord. Okay. You can't, you juggle combos like that. There's no way that that's tournament allowed. Did I just have 4 shields? Oh, no, you don't. I mean, she did. You have a shield, man. You blocked nothing, but you had a shield. I hit back, too. I'm just not a great fighter at the end of the day. That's what it is. I mean, I could do like a low-tier god thing and be like, oh, it's so cheap. Who beats me using these? But like, I'm just not a great fighter. I'm going to practice this, though, because I actually really enjoy it. Let's see. Also, in response to the cartridge disc thing on here and Twitter, of course, it's actually best not to have your games inside the system when not in use. Yeah, that's true. Well, in the case of, I think in the case of my Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, I leave it in the Sega CDX. I don't know why it's in there, but I think for the Super Nintendo, the reason I leave it in there is because my dust flaps aren't in anymore. It's been modified so I can play Super Famicom on it, and so I usually will leave a game in there to keep the cartridge slot from collecting dust. But I mean, I definitely agree that that's not ideally the right thing because if the cartridge gets jostled or something could get messed up in that regard, or even shorted. I understand that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and change it back for just a second if I can. I think we're doing BRB. I'm going to switch it to a 3D game, also on a retro console. Give that a shot, and then after that, we'll probably call it a stream. But like I said, I really appreciate you guys for being here, so I'm going to go ahead and get you switched over. Let's get some music on for you guys. All right. Oh, Celestial Light came back. Hey, I appreciate you for popping back in. Thank you so much. Can't stay, just stop by and to say hello. That's all right. Gib84 Gaming, by the way, welcome and thank you so much for leaving that like. I very much appreciate it. All right. Let's see here. And I think I can hit this one. And we're going to go try one more X-Men related game. And boom.
Will be used to bring your kind to its knees.
Okay, and hopefully the audio stayed nice and you guys can hear me over the game audio.
He has.
This was actually a pretty niche little game. Wasn't terribly popular as I understand it, called X-Men Next Dimension. Not phenomenal, not necessarily bad either. There were games that came out for the PlayStation 1, and it's really weird how this worked out, but games that came out for the PlayStation 1 called the X-Men Mutant Academy, BRB. Oh, no worries, yeah, no worries. Called X-Men Mutant Academy, and then X-Men Next Dimension was basically saying it was the... Yes, audio is great. Thank you so much. The X-Men Next Dimension one, the Next Dimension was because it went from 2D, you were on a 2D fighting plane to a 3D fighting plane. So it wasn't actually, you're not actually traveling through dimensions in this game. It's talking about the third dimension of depth that it added to the game. Literal depth, by the way. So this game was interesting. Let's see. I hope you guys can see it nice and clear. And hopefully, I know last time I tried to stream something on this console, it was remarkably dark, so I hope it looks a lot better now. I've made some adjustments, so I hope it looks good. Anybody who has played this game, let's see, do I have, if I go to arcade mode here? Jaws 3D. It's kind of on that same level, yeah, a little bit. So I don't want to spoil, I mean, if anybody's really interested to know, let's see here. Originally, when you play this game, these last 4 characters are locked, as is this one. And then each one has tons of... I'll just show you. You have 8 costumes per each one. Some are just slight variations on a theme. So, but you do get to play as quite a few of them. The one thing that they did do, in my opinion, the previous one, if you ever played the PS1 versions, the character models were okay, but you could understand the limitations due to the PS3. The PS1, excuse me. On these, I think the character models are a little underwhelming, considering what the Xbox was capable of, but that's me being a little nitpicky and a little critical. Perhaps overly so. But like, in this case, she's got this, Rogue's got this big gap in her bangs. I have no idea why. Nightcrawler's fine. Magneto's fine. Then you look at Sabretooth and there's just something wrong. It looks like his face has kind of all been wrinkled and then re-stretched out a little bit. And it stretches out, if you look at his eyebrows, past his headband. It's a weird thing for a character model. Toad's hair is also a part of his head. It's kind of a Bart Simpson thing going on, you know? Some of this was a little bit like Beast has got this, what's up with the haircut? Like, he's kind of got this, you know, so I don't understand why they kind of went a step backwards. Some of these models are okay. I mean, Bishop's actually looks halfway decent, but then some of them are really, really not very good. Okay, so I'm going to do what I want to do. Yeah, the OG Xbox is so powerful that my PC can't emulate it acceptably, and can emulate the Wii. Yeah, it's interesting how much power they put into it too. One of the biggest, and I get it, I understand that it's pre-rendered, but looking at the CGI graphics that it was able to run even in an FMV format, with X-Men Rise of Apocalypse, X-Men Legends 2 Rise of Apocalypse, really awesome. Like those graphics, in my opinion, I get yet again pre-rendered. I understand, but if you've ever played the X-Men Legends games, I highly, highly recommend them. I'll probably get around to playing at least one of them, maybe both of them, at some point in time on my stream. I own them both for Xbox and for GameCube, and they're both phenomenal. But in the first game, the CGI was just random CGI. In the second one, they did this pre-rendered, and not all of it holds up perfectly, but some of it does hold up really well, even today, and that's, almost 20 years later. I think it's 16 years later. Someone's delivered a parcel to my front door. I think it's the group of on-sale PS4 games that I ordered. Oh, that's going to be fantastic. Are you doing a form of unboxing? I know a lot of people are doing unboxings. If you are doing a form of that, heck, even if it's an audio form, I would definitely give that a watch. If you don't, that's okay too, obviously, but it's I love seeing when people get cool stuff in. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a fight showing that I'm not the worst fighter, and I'm going to show some ridiculous stuff about this. We'll just do default costume, I guess. Awesome, good on you. This is versus Sabretooth. This is in a weird, not quite 16:9 aspect ratio, so please forgive the little black envelopes on the side there. And it looks like on your guys' side there's some artifact of the flashing loading down there. So I don't know why that is, but we'll see. I don't think I'll do an unboxing, unfortunately. I'm still wanting to improve my camera. Plus, the parcel has my name on it, though I could censor. Well, no, I understand. Yeah, Dolphin has some issues for the GameCube and Wii games. Okay. Well, that's fair. It happens. I tried to emulate the Fire Emblem Path of Radiance on my computer because that game physically is super expensive. I'm gonna... Viddy, can I say something that'll probably make you upset? It's not made to make you upset, I promise, but it would potentially upset you. But I'm going to ask for your permission to divulge this. And I'm not divulging anything about you, by the way, just so you know. So I believe, if I remember the moves, we can do stuff like that. I know I don't support emulation. No, I understand. What I was going to say is, I actually got my copy of Fire Emblem Path of Radiance in box for $10. I bought it. If I can't get the... Oh, yeah. No, I understand. I went to it was a record store that sells video games, and they thought the guy that was working there thought the disc was just ruined. I found a copy. I had a drawer. I was a frequent customer, and they allowed me in the back room on occasion. And I had a whole drawer, and I grabbed the games out of it to bring them to the front to check them out. And I saw a game that was stashed in my whole drawer that wasn't one that I knew of, that I wanted. And so I brought it up to the front counter. I took a look at it. I let him know it was pretty damaged. It looked like it was pretty scratched. I shouldn't say damaged, but scratched. And he took a look at everything. He said, "What about this one?" And he said, "What's the price?" I said, "I have no idea." I said, "But I will let you know it is pretty damaged." He's like, "Oh, we're probably just going to trash it." I said, "Well, tell you what, I will pay you to take the disc in the box off your hands, whatever the price you name is, so long as it's reasonable for a really scratched game." He says, "Okay." And so he said $10, and then if it works, you may pay more. And I said, "Well, okay, but are you going to test it here?" He said, "I don't have a way." I said, "Okay, $10 is fair. I'll buy it." So I bought it, and then at my own expense, which wasn't too terribly much more, I buffed it up. I had it buffed, and it worked famously. And then I just came back and made sure to give more business to them as much as I possibly could. 10 what? Yeah, I got lucky. I really did. If GameCube games weren't region locked, I'd ask you to send it to me. Yeah, region locks. Why? I mean, I get it. Like, I get some governments don't like certain contents being bled into games, but at the same time, gosh dang it, All right, let's try this again. All right, this game does actually have some decent combos you can do in the 3D fashion. There is this, and it's really weird. So this one's XYYBX, but you also have another one which is XAAYX, and it's a double flip around. Nope, not that. That's him. Quit it. Quit it. Quit. Gosh dang you. Okay. Let me hit him again. And then I'm going to hit him again with this. Knock him off the side of the building. So it did also have the building transitions, things like Injustice had, which I thought was really cool. This was, I mean, this was a newer thing, at least my understanding, at that time. Oh, come on. Let me switch stances here. That's not what I meant to do. Dang it. Okay. Oh, I'm dead. He's gonna get me. Dang. Alright, I'm just gonna start off with this. That'll take some. Okay. Was focused so much on showing stuff off, I didn't actually do any good. It's my fault. I gotta remember, what is that move? Because I used it. That's what I thought it was. We'll see. Nearly impossible to block that move. The closer he is, I think you can get almost 30 hits on that. Let's see. Gosh dang. He is killing me with those grapples, though. Quite literally. Where's my... I don't know what my...
Time for your dirt nap.
Okay. There's my grapple. There we go. Okay.
Losing's not my style.
Oh, and the parcel came with bubble wrap, anything to vent my frustration from not getting POR for $10. Also, Doctor Who could have made me and others scared of bubble wrap in a recent episode. What happened to that? I know a lot of people have taken a phobia for like angel statues, or from older episodes, from episodes that came by, you know, a couple years back. So I'm curious as to what happened with bubble wrap. Doctor Who does a really good job of, or has done. I haven't seen all of them, of course. I haven't sadly been. I only got into it. I got into it late, so I wasn't the big. I didn't get to be the big, as big of. I haven't gotten to follow it since the very beginning, sadly. But I liked David Tennant, so I watched it for that reason. And then of course I also liked some of the old stuff was just kind of funny. I messed up the combo. There we go. I messed up that one too. Dang it. It's alright. We'll just fill these bars up here. Oh, that was good. That was what I was looking to do. I broke a cop car though. Golly, I'm gonna get fined. Nope. Dang it. Aha. If I can get this combo. There. Goodness. I almost didn't make that. Let's see. There's a recent episode of Explosive Bubble Wrap as part of a delivery package. It's surprisingly one of the better recent episodes. Shame it's not saying much. Well, that's kind of what I've heard. I really do want the current.
Think you good enough to take
I really do like the current era. I do, but the writing's just not up to par with the show's potential. Is a good jumping off point. Yeah, I'd seen that somebody had showed me like who the 8th Doctor was and stuff, and I was like, but then when I saw David Tennant, I was just like, and David Tennant's brilliant. Tom Baker and David Tennant are probably my favorites. Predictable choices, I know, but I like them. Tom Baker was the one in the 80s or 70s or 80s, wasn't he? Modern British media is unwatchable. I don't really know, but I'll say that I will take your word for it because I know you know more about it than I do. You guys both do. I will say that that modern American media is not much better. Movies are fine, but otherwise not. Generally, television shows are not very good. At least in my opinion. Was my first Doctor, but Thomas. Okay. Was also my first Doctor with a VHS copy of The Time Warrior. Nice. Very nice. So I'm going to show some ridiculous real quick of this game, and then, like I said, I'll go ahead and wind it down. I've had a pretty great time getting to talk with everybody. Very appreciative for everybody who's showing up. So I just want to show some funny stuff really quickly about this game, and then I'll do it. I also loved Leela and Sarah Jane Smith. Not sure I'm familiar. I definitely will say that I'm noticing, and this is the spoil kind of thing, right? But I'm definitely noticing a different, like the load times on the Series X being super quick versus the load times on this. So this is kind of the interesting piece. I'm going to go ahead and pull no, I'm not going to pull Wolverine. I'm going to pull Juggernaut, so we can make a comparison of his size model. I want to show how ridiculous this has been. Excuse us, whoever's in the chat. I apologize, Vidi. Yeah, no, Video and Resurgam for sure. I was more speaking to lurkers, people that have been in the chat and that are now lurking or have been lurking or are not currently active in it. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. A tremendous thank you to both of you, however, for remaining active in the chat for so long. I very much appreciate it. My apologies. I didn't mean any offense in that. I don't have a thing that tells me who is and who isn't. Well, I may have a thing. I'll work on that next time. That's okay. I lost track of who. I lost of who out of you and those in chat were familiar with Doctor Who. No, I understand. Yeah, as far as just to be a part of that, as far as British media, television, etc. goes, Doctor Who is a thing that I was obviously familiar with, but then it was also like another big one was I like with British entertainment, the ones that I really enjoyed were like Blackadder with Rowan Atkinson, and a bit of Fry and Laurie with Hugh Laurie and Stephen Fry, which Stephen Fry is. I love Stephen Fry, honestly. I think he's an absolutely brilliant man just in general. So it was just like that kind of stuff. And it just doesn't seem like when you see that kind of stuff, you gotta love Britcoms like that. Yeah. It's just interesting. I mean, like, that when you see stuff nowadays and it just doesn't measure up to stuff like that, you know? So here we have the Juggernaut model. This is him hunkered over. And he's pretty big. I mean, Juggernaut's a pretty good sized guy. But he's not even the biggest character on here. The IT Crowd. Matt Berry is Comedy Gold. Matt Berry is... Okay. I haven't seen the IT Crowd. I've seen snippets of it. But I liked Matt Berry and... oh, shoot. I can't think of his name. My first exposure to Matt Berry was Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. And he played, not Rick Douglas, the other guy. He was... I can't think of his first name. Something Sanchez, though. Rick Sanchez, maybe? No, it's not Rick Sanchez. That's Rick and Morty. It was something Sanchez, though. I'm almost positive. I can't remember. But anyway, it was Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. And it was him, and it was... I can't think of his name. He's also brilliant. He's in the IT Crowd. I think he's their boss. Shoot, I can't think of his name. Golly, I can't think of his name, but he's hilarious. In Garth Marenghi's Dark Place, he plays he's Dean Lerner. Yes, Richard Iode. I don't know how you say that proper, but yes, that's him. Iode. I'm not sure. I'm not very good at, if you're not noticing, if it's not spelled phonetically, I'm awful. That's completely my fault. I do forget the cast names of the IT Crowd, but it's a good show, especially from season 2 onwards. Yeah, but yeah, he is a brilliant, him and Matt Berry and Richard Ayoade. I'm going to say it that way. Unless I know otherwise, and I'll go learn it after this so that I get it right. But they are brilliant. A fun fact, really quickly, I think there's a thing in here. When you go to options, is it options? No, where is it? I don't remember where it is. Practice. Is it not under options? Let's see. I don't guess it is. I don't remember where it is. But anyway, there is a let's see. Anyway, Blob is from a very nearby city. A city that's in the same state, of course, in Texas, which is kind of an interesting thing. He's by one that's very... Ayuwade. Ayuwade. Okay, thank you for the... like I said, I would have said it that way and then just gone out and learned it. But it definitely, I very much appreciate you for taking the time to phonetically do that for me, because that now I can... The Richard Ayuwade. Yeah, he is absolutely brilliant. But every time I think of him as Dean Lerner, because of when they're doing the Garth Marenghi's Dark Place, and he's behind the scenes and everything. It's just he's brilliant. But I've done it before. They had there's this like game show or whatever where they kind of go off the rails, and he's been on it, and he gets on, and like every time they do, they call him Richard. I don't know if I heard his last name said on that, but every time they do that, it's still jarring to me, because I'm like, it's because it feels to me like he's Dean.
I can crush you and still be home for dinner.
So that's another thing. I don't understand why they gave Blob a New Yorker accent. He's from Texas. He's from a city called Lubbock, Texas, which is in the North Texas Panhandle. So I don't understand why they gave him this New Yorker accent. But if you take a look, this is him next to the... I didn't think he was bigger than Juggernaut. I thought Juggernaut was like 8 foot and Blob was like 7 or something like that. But according to this, I was trying to look for it. According to this one, Juggernaut's like 8 foot and Blob is like 9.5. Oh yes, Richard was in the film The Watch. I didn't know that. What is it called? Had the host named Jim Carr or something who has quite... Yeah, that's I think that's the one. I'm pretty sure that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, it's pretty funny, honestly. So this is the ridiculousness. I'm going to show you the character models here. Now he doesn't do a lot of the thing he doesn't do is a lot of excess damage. He doesn't jump, which you wouldn't expect him to. I want to see... I've never fought with him, really. But I want to see what his... By the way, Bastion, for anybody who's not X-Men familiar, which is perfectly understandable, Bastion is a robot. So, the fact that the Blob is just sitting here wailing on this full-form robot here. I do wish they would have done health bars that... I mean, I understand why you wouldn't, but... It would have been kind of cool if in the arcade mode there would have been health bars to reflect the actual... I'll tell you, he moves like garbage, though. I can't, like... The character's fine. I have no problem with the character, but I just... In a fighting game, he's... Definitely would not be my first choice, because he's... very slow. Alright, I'm going to do a super move. I don't have an idea as to... I have no idea what it is. Bottoms up. It's a down AB. Probably a gravity move. It is.
Thanks. That made me work up my ass.
It still didn't kill him, so it wasn't that effective, apparently. Yeah, take a look at these punches, by the way. Watch this. I guess. Oh, he's actually going to kill me if I don't stop messing around here. Belly flop XY. Okay. I expected there to be a little more fanfare, a little more pomp and circumstance to that. Let's see. His laugh is like, ha 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 ha. I don't know if I did that right. I didn't read I probably didn't read the notes right, the fluctuation there. But I'm pretty sure I know what I'm pretty sure you're right. As a matter of fact, I'd assume you know better than I do. But you know, but I've seen him, and he's so funny. Matt Berry is hilarious, though. Absolutely hilarious. He also has, it's weird to me because I'd always heard him as Dr. Sanchez in that. And it was interesting because in hearing him and always hearing him like that, he's got such a great voice. He's just got such a fantastic, like, just wonderful sounding voice. And then he talks in real life and you hear him and he's a little bit more, it's a little more like, if you look up Jimmy Carr laugh on YouTube, well, there we go then. Okay. I will do that. I'll take a peek at it. I know you have it right. It's me who just probably who read it wrong, but I'm almost positive you're right. But he just had this. Yes. I use a Matt Berry from Toast of London when I Rage Quit a Gamer stream. I'm curious as to what it is, because I've seen some of that, and that's actually pretty funny. He plays such an entitled, like, angry, upset, just constantly bitter person, and it's such a funny thing to see, because it doesn't seem like he's at all that person. But it's just, he's got this, like, it's almost Shakespearean, just, like, very well pronounced and very well, you know, a voice that's trained to resonate. And then you hear him talking in real life, and it's like, oh, that voice is put on. He's actually got kind of a little kind of the maybe the Cockney accent to it, as opposed. I don't know exactly how it's classified. There's probably a lot of sub genres of accent in that, but it seemed like that was the case. It's just brilliant. I saw a comment that said it better. The laugh is all these laughs in the comment. I'm sorry. When I read the I read it. I imagine it as Butthead and Beavis and Butthead going. It's a stupid, you know, stupid go-to MTV days. I've caught. I did that the other day. It was Anna was laughing at something, and she was being very sweet about it. She's laughing, but it was one of those. I don't know if you've ever had a moment. This is probably going to be bad. Have you ever had a moment where you know what's coming is funny enough, so you start the laugh before you actually reach the funny? Like that's Bastion, son of a gun. He counterattacked me. My goodness. No, I'm not going to continue. That's good there. But have you ever had I think we've all had it. Have you ever had the moment? Now I'm laughing, and not the Jim. That's good. The retro room laughter chain. Yeah. Oh, good. The pre-laugh, is that what it's known as? Yeah. It's so you're looking for something funny, but you don't find the funny, but you know the funny is coming. It's inevitable, so you start laughing. I love that if the pre-laugh is not what it's called, you have coined the term. I will use it and give you credit each time it's used. Yeah, it's exactly what it is, because you know funny's coming. You don't know where it's coming. You don't know when it's coming, but you know it's coming. And so you start to kind of psych yourself out in that way, and you start to kind of... And so she started doing that, and I love it. Her laugh is really cute. This is, for anybody who isn't familiar, Anna is my wife, so that's if you're wondering why I'm a little bit, you know, that way, that's because she's my wife, and she's fantastic. But she started doing that, and that was the thing I walked, is that and that was the thing. So I walked in and was like, hey, Beavis, and she immediately found, you know, she found her post laugh, you know, or whatever it was. So oh my goodness, I love the fact that this is great though. I love the fact that we're I don't know about you guys, I'm assuming because you've said it, but I'm laughing. I don't know. I'm laughing, and I hope you guys are laughing, and it's seeing laughter in the chat. I mean, it's kind of great. It's really great. Yeah, I like to do the. That's the whole. I do the Peter Griffin. I'll walk in some days and do that, and just try to get a laugh out of her. But I love his laugh is the one that can get anyone to laugh fastest. That, in my opinion, that laugh. It doesn't matter where you hear it. Somebody's gonna like snicker a little bit. You walk into the room, and you do that laugh. You just walk in there and like, hey, Lois, diarrhea, and you do that, and somebody will snicker almost in every room. Not in every room I've ever gone to. I don't know very many people that won't just. If you go, I mean, I guess if you went to like a really posh party and you know they're trying to like give a political platform speech, you probably wouldn't get a lot of laughs there. But you know, in most places. Wait, the Peter Griffin laugh, yeah. That's, in my experience, if you do the Peter Griffin laugh, if it's done without context, better, it seems to be. But if it's done with content, most people, I think, Family Guy's kind of gotten to be as ubiquitous as some like Disney in a lot of cases. Like you go around the world in a lot of, in my experience, you talk with people around the world, and not necessarily everywhere, but I've talked with people around the world, and the Peter Griffin laugh is kind of this. Everybody knows it, everybody laughs at it, that kind of stuff, and you get the so. In the PSVR game, Riggs had attenuated VoIP for the players on the field, and someone blew by my mech using that laugh with a Doppler effect. No, Doppler effect is absolutely the cherry on the cake. An attenuated voice over IP. That's pretty impressive, by the way. I did not realize that was how that worked. That's I could just imagine that. Just like I rotated my mic, so hopefully you got some level of Doppler effect with that. But I mean, you wouldn't get full Doppler effect. I have it in mono, so it's coming out of both ears. If I did it in stereo, I'd have to use 2 mics for it. But is that in text-to-speech thing I mentioned earlier? Some of the characters didn't have a laughing action, so sometimes you had to type it in. Type in the haws. That's pretty funny. All right, guys. Well, hey, I really. That's exactly what it sounded like. Good. I was hoping my mic is on a stand, and so I just pulled it way in front of me, and then laughed, and then rotated it around. So I hope that gave it some sort of. It didn't give it any sort of directionality. Probably, like I said, with mono, it just gets quieter and then louder and quieter. I should have done it in stereo. I have another microphone here hooked up. I should have done that, but I don't know how to set this analog stereo, so I don't, but anyway, I want to say thank you so very much. Firstly, thank you to you guys that are still here in the chat, both Vidi and Resurgam. It's like that YouTube video I've seen of a Doom mod which has nothing but the Tim Allen. I haven't seen that, but now I just imagined it. I've got to see that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I just imagine Doom Guy like doing all of this stuff in the bowels of hell. just in the bowels of hell, he's crushing in these demons, whatever they are, these mancubus or whatever the demon is, and you're just saying, oh. And I know you're probably talking about the one that goes up, which I can't even begin to replicate. Couldn't replicate the one I just did. But that was that's such a fun thought. I'm gonna go look at that. I'm gonna go look for that. I'm gonna go look at the laugh too. I'm gonna go look at Jimmy's laugh that you were talking about too, just to make sure I get that right. But I definitely am gonna be looking at the Doom mod with the Tim Allen grunt. That is brilliance. But anyway, it's been a great stream. No, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I've had a lot of fun with you guys. So yeah, first and foremostly, let me go ahead and get us out to the outro screen. I hope this takes us there. Does that take us there? Did I go to the wrong thing? Did I push the button? Did I push the wrong button? What does that one say? There we go. Okay, I was pushing the wrong button. Let me get some music in. You guys can... see if it'll play some music. There we go. Yeah, no, I want to give a very special thank you, a huge thank you to you two, Vidi of Video Games for Fun, and Resurgam for being here this whole time. And you guys have been here for practically the entire thing, through the game switching, through the poor fighting controls. Sorry, you're hearing dogs. Through the poor fighting controls, through all of that. And you guys have just made this a blast. Even though this was a test stream, I expected things to go horribly wrong. You guys came in here, you made it fun. You completely subverted my expectations and made it something really incredible, and I very much appreciate that. You guys are fantastic, and thank you so much for the support. I also want to give a thank you to everyone else who popped up in stream, be it for a little bit or be it for long enough to participate. I ran 20 miles throughout it all. That's fantastic and remarkably admirable. I wish I could do that. I don't want to say I could or couldn't do that. I just, at this point, do not have a treadmill, so I don't have the capability. I would like to try and fail or try and succeed. But I definitely know that that's not easy, and I know that that's an amazing feat to do. So that's fantastic. That's awesome. You definitely are motivating me to want to give it a stab. So, but yeah, thank you to the people that did participate in chat and had to leave from earlier. That's AR Video Games, Heavy Waves, Echo, YT, Frost Glacier, I believe, was in here briefly. Celestial Light, thank you so much for stopping in. The Thumb Brothers, of course, stopped in for a little bit, and it was great to get to see you and get to talk with you. I hope we get to talk a little bit later. I think we might have something coming up in the near future that I get to hopefully be a part of. I'm super excited about that. Let's see. Am I forgetting anybody? I don't think I'm forgetting anybody. I think that's right. Okay, well, if I did forget anybody, my deepest apologies for having forgotten anybody. I want to make sure that to show my gratitude throughout and for everybody. But yeah, thank you so much for coming in and making this test stream, which I actually expected to be chaos. You guys made it really special and made it really fun and made it really good. I've noticed. I've noticed doing dancing recently. I got my heart beating. It's a bit more fun than cardio. Yeah, I imagine so. I wish I don't know if I could dance, but at the same time, I definitely believe so. Sounded like all the tech stuff worked out well. I think so. I think it did. You guys obviously are the ultimate judges of that, but yeah. Anyway, I'm super appreciative of all of your guys coming in and talking with me. I really appreciate it. And so I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, let you guys go. Have a wonderful day, wonderful morning. I guess you guys are both from Australia, so hopefully I'm not wrong in saying have a wonderful morning / potentially early afternoon. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.